Hi, this is Deborah Clutter. Guess what I got today? So remember when I told you I made some fabric for one of the stores in one of the little cities close to me? Well, I got the fabric today, and here is the postcard fabric from the Black Hills. And so I got a couple of yards of this one. I know I look funny trying to hold this up. So it's got a bunch of bison on it, and there is some mountain goats, some of the lakes, and I think there's Mount Rushmore on here, and some more goats, and a picture I took in Custard Park. So I think it turned out really good. I was actually really surprised when I first saw it because I'm used to getting spoonflower fabric that I've made and bought before, and it always looks a little washed out. So I made sure I made the colors very vibrant on this, and they must have a little bit different printing process over at Art Gallery Fabrics, because this is nice and soft, and sometimes you get a spoonflower fabric, and if it has a lot of color on it, it'll be stiff. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. I just ordered some more, by the way, so we'll see if it's changed recently. So I made this design also, and so I had this printed on spoonflower. I had it printed at this scale, and then I had some more printed at this scale, but in black and white, or black and gray, I guess. The little buffaloes are in black and gray. But I think this scale will look good with this fabric, and I have a pattern that I'm going to use for it. And when I get ready to do that pattern, I will film it. So if you guys would like to make one, you can. You won't have this fabric, but you can make it with another fabric. The pattern that I have, I call it color block. It is just really good for any kind of fabric that is you want to show off, right? That has big designs on it, and you don't want to cut up into little pieces. It's really easy quilt to make. So here's the panel. I think the panel turned out really beautiful. And let me see if I can back up a little bit here. Okay, so there's one of the bison, and there's another, and another, and another. So one of the local artists, she took these pictures for the bison, and there's many programs you can use that will recolor the pictures, and she had kind of done that. I had to alter the background on it because at the scale that we were trying to print it, there wasn't enough color in it to make it look good, so I had to soften the images and redo the background on them so that it would look good printed at this size. I mean, the pictures looked fine the way she originally had them as a small print, but not as a large print. And then of course I had to do all the arrangement. It actually took me quite a long time to do these. And can't remember, which is really bad. I can't remember the photographer that took most of these pictures. I want to say Green something Gallery. I'll have to look it up. I'm sure I have it in an email somewhere. Which, you know, I kind of wished I could have made a postcard just with their logo on it or something, or with, you know, to give them credit for the pictures. I mean, there's a couple of pictures of mine in here, but most of them are from that photographer. And of course I did all the postcards, and adding all the resizing all the images and and doing all the work to get the images to look good. And then I had to put text on the images to make it look like a postcard. And then I did all the back of the postcards, graphics and stamps. There's a bunch of stamps on, which actually the stamps took me a long time to do. And so anyway, that's my fabric, made by Art Gallery Fabrics. They printed it. And so Lorena is selling it in her store in Hill City. So if you're in Hill City, South Dakota, you go to the Farmer's Daughter and you get yourself some of this fabric. I'm not sure if she has a website. I'll have to check it out. So I bought some Moda grunge to go with it, and this is going to be the background and the sashing for the pattern that I'm going to do. So hopefully it'll look good. I need this fabric before I can start on it. Always takes a couple of weeks to get spoonflower fabric in. So I can't start on it anytime soon, but hopefully in a couple of weeks I'll get a video. And the panel, I think I'm gonna, did you hear that? All the pins went flying. The panel, I think I'm going to leave it. She had a sample in her store, and whoever did the sample, they kind of cut the bison out, each one, and you know, kind of put it in a small quilt. But I think I'm going to leave the panel intact, just so I remember exactly how I had designed it originally, and then I'll just design a pattern around it. So we'll have to see what that looks like. I think this panel is really beautiful. It turned out really good. I'd like to make another one with a buffalo or bison, really bison, really not buffalo. Another one with the bison in the snow. I think that'll be really good, and just like a one panel with just the bison. So the same photographer that did all of these, he actually has a picture with the bison in the snow that would be really kind of cool. So I'll have to talk to the lady that got the permission from the photographer and see if they want to do another one. But if I do it again, that photographer, his name's going to somewhere on the fabric, just even in small print. I don't know. We'll hide it, make it look like part of a tree or something cool, you know. Because I think he kind of got, I don't know if it's a he, I think the photographer kind of got the least recognition from the whole thing. So, and they are his pictures or her pictures. So, you know, I'd like to make sure they get a lot of credit for that. It's, you know, it takes a long time to take a good picture. I got lucky. There's a couple of bison pictures in here that are mine, and we just got lucky. We came across a whole herd of them one day, and there was probably 1,000 of them, and we stood there for a long time taking pictures. Well, we didn't stand. We stayed in our car. You don't want to get near those things. They're very scary close up. I mean, they got huge, gigantic heads, and they look mean. So you don't want to get too close to them. But and I think one of the mountain goat pictures in here is also one of mine. It's kind of funny, you know. I spent so much time on it, I can't even remember which one's which anymore, because it kind of just all blurred together after a while, after trying to get them all. Oh, I think this one is mine, maybe that one is. That looks like might be the one that I took. Who knows? We came across some mountain goats when we were in Spearfish Canyon one day, and there was quite a few of them. You don't really see them a whole lot. One time we were driving over on Needles Highway, which is the most beautiful place, and there was a mom, a dad, and I think a baby, just right there and we sat there and watched them for a long time. Anyway, that was a quick update. I just wanted to show you my fabric. When I start working on the pattern, I'll let you know. Thanks. So I forgot to tell you, one day I was at the farmer's daughter, and I was looking, it was the day I was looking at the fabric when I first heard that she had it in, and there's some guy that was getting ready to buy some, and he was buying the panel, and so I told him that I had designed it, and so he made me sign his panel with a Sharpie, and I'm like, I didn't want to ruin his panel, but he made me sign it. And then I told him he needed to go down the street and talk to the lady who had took the pictures, to James Ann is her name, and have her sign it also. It was just kind of a weird experience. I was not expecting that, and I don't know, it kind of made me feel a little weird. So I thought I'd tell you.